Always been a happy kind of go-lucky kind of guy, so just wanting to sort of start looking long-term. I don't think I've ever looked long-term. Long-term, I guess we want to look at having kids. I've always wanted to have them, but I guess I just wanted to be ready and be in the right sort of frame of mind and right health as well. I don't want to bring a kid into a world where the father's not someone that you can look up to health-wise.
I would say that with Gary, one of the big issues is actually what's going on in his head. Very often with people who are overweight, they have compulsive eating and they use food as a drug rather than just as an energy source.
Felice headed a team that demonstrated a groundbreaking link between gut and brain in the elderly.
We've shown in humans that they're very clearly associated. So in older people, the quality of their diet was clearly linked to the size of their hippocampus. And it wasn't just a little effect, it was quite a large one.
The hippocampus is a curved organ found in the inner fold of the brain called the temporal lobe. It's known to influence our memory and our mood. It seems the hippocampus is particularly sensitive to the negative effects of a diet high in processed foods.
It reduces these neurotrophins, these proteins in the brain that prompt the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus. It also can have effects on the cognitive processes that arise from the hippocampus. So showing that in humans you could induce cognitive deficit after only a week on a high-fat diet, I think is really interesting.
Amazing. Junk food can affect your brain in just 1 week. These findings have enormous potential for how we look at mental health.
What can we say straight up without any more science? We can say it's really important to think about your diet and to make sure that what you're putting in your mouth every day is going to support your physical and mental health.
To mark the start of week 3, Gary's having his mum over for lunch.
Mum's always been pretty vocal about my weight growing up. When I lost a lot of weight and I was down to, I think it was about 120 was probably my lightest I've been for a while. My face was really thin and she thought I was going anorexic, so and then she told me to eat more. So I could never really please. I think most wogs would know about that with their mums. So either you win one battle, you lose another.
No, y empezado con la cámara.
Yeah.
Come on.
Up you get. Oh.
We inherit our genes from both our parents. But we have our mums to thank for our microbiomes. Our gut is first colonised by the bugs that we receive from our mothers at birth. Breast milk contains natural prebiotics that specifically feed the baby's new colony of gut bugs.
I cook it con very little oil.
The olive oil is good for you, apparently. Hopefully it won't poison you.
I not die now, I never die.
By 3 years of age, our microbiomes are fully established. But lifestyle, environment, and exposure to antibiotics can all have negative impacts on its diversity. The good news is that diet is a powerful tool to help correct these imbalances.
The pitch Gary 14 or 13. Yeah, he's very skinny there. He never put away anyway after 33.
Alrighty.
Gary started to get problem with his weight when he was start to eat out with his friend. He eat in the home, just go and eat now. Yes, it start to put the kilo on. He take chicken, McDonald's, pizza. Yes, it start to put the weight on.
Didn't turn out as well as I'd like. It's a bit mushy, but...
Yeah, don't worry because it's too big. When he heart attack, he died before I am. Yeah, too much weight and not good.
Gary hasn't cooked for his mum in years. He's hoping to impress her with a healthy meal and a new attitude to food.
You are hungry or?
Yeah, I'm very hungry.
Yeah. All right, here you go. Nothing,
oh, yummy, yummy.
nothing too fabulous, but we'll see how we go. Bon appetit. All right, let me know what you think.
I like broccoli. Come back tomorrow.
When you're hungry, you eat anything.
Eat anything.
I think I've lost a few kilos already, actually. So
How many?
I've lost about 3 kilos so far. I'm trying to eat better. So
No more pizza?
no.
You eat plenty veggies, fruit.
Well, the problem is I don't want to diet for the rest of my life. But I just want to be able to eat this good stuff, but then every now and then I want to eat the bad stuff as well. Maybe once a week or something, or once or twice a week, or social, like going out with friends and stuff.
Gary's desire to reward himself with a fast food meal once or twice a week is a problem. And it's not only about the calories.
What does your gut microbiome like to eat? Well, it really likes to eat plant foods and lots of fibre, and it likes to eat good quality sources of fats and proteins. It doesn't like processed foods. We've got new information around the detrimental impact of dietary emulsifiers, which are found in processed foods, on the gut, on artificial sugars, all of those sorts of foods that we know are not particularly good for us based on the existing evidence are not good for your microbiota either.
And there's evidence that certain gut bugs can influence whether you feel full or hungry by producing molecules that affect the appetite signals going to your brain. Are these sort of representative of some of the meals that you might have eaten? Did you spot some favourites on there?
Yeah, I was just got hungry all of a sudden. I think when I eat this sort of stuff, I tend to eat more. I don't know why. Say I'll have a pizza, and then like about an hour or so later, I'd feel hungry again. So then I'd kind of feel like I need to. It wasn't really substantial. It didn't really sort of give me.
So you're feeling hungrier sooner after you've eaten.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting response, isn't it, Steve? Because we know that these are really energy-dense foods.
Yes.
So is there anything in the gut microbiome or in the mechanics of what's going on there that can help us to understand that sort of response?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, but the principal one is that all of these are really easily digested. So you can imagine you chew that up, you've swallowed it, your stomach's got to work on it, you're into the small intestine, you're absorbing all the nutrients that are in it, and there's a massive amount of sugar and fat, and there is protein in that as well, but the proportion of protein relative to fat and carbs is probably pretty low. And the net result of all of that is that pretty much the nutrients and the little fibre that there is already gone by the time you get to the lower intestine, large intestine, the bowel, and the bugs are all sitting there at the other end saying, come on then, come on, and nothing arrives. And so there's nothing for the bugs to work on to generate the sorts of appetite control signals that are normally emanating from the lower intestine.